This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending 2/17/2021. This list is put together each week by Michael Alexander. I'll include links in the description if you want to take a look. Let's get into it. So this week, one interesting climber. There actually wasn't many interesting fallers this week, so we'll skip on to Eclipse, which looks well on its way to hitting the top 100. Eclipse 2nd edition. It has slowed down a little bit in terms of ratings. It's getting less than 100 in the week, but it's clearly going to hit the top 100 and probably the top 50 games. And Under Falling Skies, we kind of looked at before. This one is doing pretty well still. Again, it's a solo-only game, which is kind of unique. We don't really see many solo-only games. And I'm really interested to see if this one will get into the top 100. I think it has a chance, although it needs to keep getting new ratings. And Pandemic Legacy Season 0. This one, again, is destined for the top 100, possibly the top 10. And it's already at 383, picking up a good number of ratings, although its average did drop a little bit. So that's not a good sign for hitting the top 10. And number 10, Adventure Tactics Domains Tower. So I haven't even heard of this one. I don't know if it's currently on Kickstarter or it's being delivered. Let's take a look. Must be getting delivered. So this one is pretty interesting. This is like a encounter-based, campaign-driven tactical combat game. So these tactical combat games I guess they're kind of made a comeback. They do have standees, but some custom dice. I like the art. It's like anime-ish style, but maybe some computer influence, like computer game influence. Standees look okay. These paint jobs look pretty good. The minis are okay. So this, I would say the look of the game looks pretty decent. I like these paint jobs. They look just like the pictures. Yeah, so this one's kind of interesting. It's cooperative. Looks like a boss battle or encounter-based dungeon crawl, which there's been a lot of these games. Maybe the playtime and the complexity, I guess they're mid-range complexity, mid-range playtime. Maybe the art sets it apart. It'll be interesting to see. I don't think a lot of these tend to make the top 100 though, just because if there are a lot of them, they're competing with things like Gloomhaven, KDM, all of the half the CMON games. So I don't have high hopes for this to continue climbing, although it is getting solid ratings but very few so far. So we'll have to see if this shows up on the list in the coming weeks. Number 9 is Cloud Age. So this is an interesting one. It looks like deliveries have kind of picked up, or maybe people have gotten to the table. It's again staying roughly the same average rating, which means most of the people who are buying this are Alexander Pfister fans like myself, with a lot of his heavier games. This was kind of a medium weight game, and it's getting a little bit worse ratings than those. So it's probably a solid game, but probably not like a top 10 or top 50 game at this point. So that's number 9, Cloud Age. Number 8, Prague Regni. So this one is actually picking up some steam again. So you can see these averages have moved up a little bit. 8.29. Yeah, I guess it's stabilized at just above 8. But if it continues at this rate, this would be sufficient to get into the top 100, I think. So this game is Vladimir Suki's latest game, which here's the instructions for assembling this thing. I'm not a huge fan of these cardboard components that sit on top of a board, like these stands. I know that they're going for a specific look. I guess they have the spinner thing. I don't know if it's done with a magnet. Really, if you're doing a spinner, especially in a board game, it needs to be done like Coloma. That is the way to do a spinner. I'll say it again later, next time I see it. I mean, they look okay. I know they're going for a theme or going for a look that goes with this medieval theme, but I don't know. It looks kind of busy to me, and one of the things I think for me, my favorite Suki game is Pulsar 2849. I just like the dice drafting aspect of it and the many different ways to win. Although it is kind of a bear to teach because of the symbology. I have a feeling this isn't gonna eclipse that as his best game, but we'll have to see. It does look to be doing really well with the current state of things, and may actually very, I would say, has a chance at getting the top 100 at this point. So that is Prague Regni, number 8. Number 7, Lost Ruins of Arnak. So this one, it's the first of the 3 big deck building worker placement games: Lost Ruins of Arnak, Dune Imperium, and Endless Winter. This one is off to a good start. It's going to hit the top 100 almost certainly, and it's getting a really consistent rating, I think, as being really good. And I would agree with that. I think it's probably the best looking of the released games, and I think its gameplay is good. I just don't, for my tastes, I didn't particularly see it as something I need to add to my collection, but I can recognize it as a fun to play game. So that is Lost Ruins of Arnak. Number 6 is Hallertau. So we talked about this one last week. This is Uwe Rosenberg's latest game. I think it's the Uwe fans are piling on. It looks like they must be getting their copies, and it's bumping up the ratings. I think in general it's getting solid reviews, maybe some new mechanisms, some refinements of some of his older gameplay styles. I just don't see it eclipsing his best games, like Feast for Odin, Caverna, and Le Havre are my favorite 3 games. But we'll have to see. I mean, I think that its mechanisms kind of don't look as deep to me from the reviews I've seen. I think the wide openness of Feast for Odin, and actually, I really want to see the next expansion for Feast for Odin. I haven't seen an update in a while. I was really looking forward to playing it with that expansion. But this game, I think, it'll probably be solid. I'm guessing, if I was to guess right now, it's going to land in the top 200. Maybe enter the top 100 and then fall out. So that's Hallertau, number 6. Number 5 is Kanban EV. So this one's getting really solid ratings already. I think it'll hit the top 100, assuming enough copies are sold, just for 2 reasons, as we've talked about before. The first one being, a lot of people that are buying this already love Vital Lacerda games and already love Kanban, so you're going to just get good ratings there. Second reason is, it's an amazing looking game. So I'm going to show this again. This game might be Enotool's best graphics design for a board game, in my opinion. It just, everything goes really well together. I like the futuristic automotive assembly line feel, like the test track, how it connects to the factory. I like how the car artwork is. I love the board design. I think it's just it's an amazing design. And then you add the metal cars in, and those look cool. I mean, even the screen printed regular cars just look great. They come in trays. The overall board game is just a piece of art, I think. And as you can see here, they put it on a little stand from the gallerist or something. So this game, I think, is probably going to hit the top 100, and I think for a lot of good reasons, as I mentioned. So that is number 5, Kanban EV. Number 4 is Bloodborne, the board game. So this is, I think, Eric Lang's last board game he did with... No, Simon, it'll be Ankh will be his last one, which I think is a solid game. I actually think Ankh will be better than Rising Sun, but probably not as good as Blood Rage. This game is getting a lot of really solid ratings, I think due to the fact that it's very familiar to the people that play this video game. And as we talked about before, I think that that's the right way. Like, if you're approaching a video game IP, you really need to build it like the board game like the video game feels. And that's what I'm really hoping for with Assassin's Creed when it comes, because that is a video game I like. I never played Bloodborne. I don't have any familiarity with it, so I can't really comment on that. But I think that's the best way to design it. I'll be interested to see how this does in the future, though, because after we get past the video game, the people the early adopters, the video game people, I think there'll be a retail version of it, and we'll have to see how it actually does. So that is Bloodborne, the board game. Number 4 now. Number 3 is Dune Imperium. This one is going to probably beat Lost Ruins of Arnak into the top 100. And I think this one is going to end up higher on the list, just based on the ratings so far and based on the reviews. It is not as good a looking game, but I think that the gameplay here is more solid. And I kind of wish that they had made this a better looking game. Let's see here if we can pick some images. So, yeah, I guess this is a good example. It's got like this 3D rendered artwork. It almost like, I don't know if it was 3D rendered or not. The background's sure to look 3D rendered with these generic meeples, these really thin tokens. They're not even chunky tokens. They did do different, sizes and colors and shapes of those. Back of the cards, I think, look okay. But then a lot of it's these generic cubes. Yeah, they're different colors, but they're wooden cubes. They didn't even go with a little bit more premium plastic cube, which I think would have worked better in a space game. Maybe like a Sidereal Confluence 2nd Edition. This is a game that really, if it's... I haven't played it yet, but if it's as good as the reviews say it is, it really deserved a more premium treatment, maybe a deluxe edition in the future. I don't know. But Dune Imperium, I'm looking forward to trying it. Hopefully I'll get a chance to in the few months after we're done with this pandemic. And this one's going in the top 100 for sure. Rob, I think it'll be in the top 50. I don't see it. I don't see this average rating coming down enough, or this new ratings coming down enough to take it out of the top 50. So that's number 2, Dune Imperium. Number 3, Dune Imperium. Number 2 is Canvas. So we've talked about this one for a couple weeks. It's actually interesting. The ratings came up a little bit this week. It's a lightweight game with this card overlay mechanism that this game looks amazing. And I think that having a look like this in the weight of its game actually is really good. Like, I mean, look at games like Dixit. They're lighter weight. They look good. They've done really well with that. I wouldn't say Dixit's got amazing gameplay, but it's good with the right group of people. And I think the work really brings it out. So this is number 2, Canvas. I don't think it'll be in the top 100, but if it keeps getting ratings here, it might, or it go up a little bit higher. Maybe it will. Number 1, Sleeping God. So this game is hot. And I think, well, based on the reviews I've seen and based on how this thing is doing, I'm already going to say it's going to be in the top 100. And might be Ryan Laukatt's best game. I mean, a lot of people have said it is. So Sleeping Gods, I think, is one of his better looking games. I've always liked his artwork, but I think he really spent the time on crafting this world, creating these really great storybook or book artwork, and it mixes perfectly with the cards, with the ship. I think it's just a really nice look for the game, and it's amazing that Ryan Laukatt designed all this. He designed the game, he did all the artwork. That is a very unique skill in board game design. And to have a game that is, getting this good of ratings so far. This chest looks great. It looks like it's got a magnetic latch, which I love. The detail here, and it's even his style. Just, it looks amazing. So I have a feeling like this is probably going to be his highest rated game when everything's said and done. and I am looking forward to it coming out in retail because I didn't get on the Kickstarter. So that is the number one game of the week, Sleeping Gods. Again, if you like this video, please like and please subscribe. Please take a look at our other videos. Thank you.